One of the major reasons why you never outperform your current self-image is because at some level you will hold yourself back. You can't outperform your self-image. So the only way to achieve things that have never been achieved before is to change how you see yourself. It took me a long time to learn the power of self-image. And if I'm being totally honest, it wasn't something that came naturally to me, mostly because I didn't fully understand what the power of self-image had, and also how to actually look at myself and my surroundings and understand what my own self-image was. Because what I've come to realize is we can, on times, make stuff up and tell ourselves stories about the way we think things are. And sometimes those stories can serve us well and sometimes they can't. But unless you are grounded in the fact of what you really understand your self-image to be, then it's quite hard to recognize where you are. But it's also even more challenging to know the direction that you want to go in, because you need to know where you are before you can plan on where you're going. So one of my own mentors taught this to me in a way that will sit with me forever. I've repeated this process multiple times over the last few years. It's a process that served me really, really well, and it's helped me significantly. Every time I realize that I've stalled in growth, whether it's in my personal life or business, I've gone back and I've reanalyzed and I've relooked and I've gone through this process time and time again, and it helps every single time. And one of the major reasons why you never outperform your current self-image is because at some level you will hold yourself back. Because if you think about it, there's no way you can achieve the things that you're looking to achieve if you don't yet believe those things at a certain level. Now, without getting too complicated and without digging into this too deeply, one of the best ways that you can analyze and look at how your self-image or perceived self-image is playing out is anytime you've set an outcome or a goal or wanting to make a change for the better, whether it's habits, like significant changes in business, whatever the outcome may be. If you've seen on some occasions self-sabotage showing up in the form of like silly decisions, like questioning why you've done some things, that's a sign of an inability to outperform the self-image. Another aspect that this shows up at is giving up when there's no actual reason to give up. Another way this shows up is that you don't see things through, and also feelings of doubt. Now, a lot of people may think, well, these are just natural processes that happen for any person at any time when they're going through change. Yeah, that could be true, but it also could be each of these levels is a glass ceiling that we're pushing through at a given moment at any given time to go to the next level in whatever the outcome may be. And it's only been the last couple of years since really understanding what this concept is that's allowed me to A, use it, and then B, actually be aware of what's going on as well. So one of the ways to actually know what your self-image is before you can even think about planning like a new outcome or making it a positive change, whether it's hiring new team members for your business, whether it's becoming a better leader, whether it's increasing revenue for the business, this is probably the first place to start, is to understand what the self-image is or what your self-image is. So the first thing to do is take a look around at your life today. What does it look like? Who is in your life? What did you do? And how do you feel about this? Because more often than not, the things that we align with are the things that are part of our self-identity and our self-image. Another aspect of this, which is tied in directly to what I've just mentioned, is to now take a look at your life over the last 30 days. What did you do the most of? What are the things that showed up quite regular? Who did you spend the most time with? What did you spend the most time doing? These are the things that are part of your self-image. Now, a lot of people may not like what they've seen on a day-to-day basis. A lot of people may not like what they've spent their time doing over the last 30 days. But this is a snapshot, and this is a great way to analyze and actually look at what are the things that I value, because whether you like it or not, the things that you spend your time doing, the things that the people that you spend your time with, and how you show up in the course of a day And then over the course of a 30-day period, those are the things you align with, those are the things that you value, and therefore they are part of your self-image. That's one of the most practical steps and one of the most practical exercises that anyone can do to actually analyze and actually take stock of what does my own self-image look like. And the reason for understanding your own self image is you need to know where you are before you can decide on where to go. And that may sound trivial, it may sound even common sense, but until you really grasp what are the things that you repeat on a daily basis, what are the things that hold you back on a daily basis, you can't really shift into the new thing or the new version of you that's trying to outperform the self image itself. So now that you have a better idea of where you want to go, you can actually create that new version of you. And this is how we actually bust through where we are today and then push through into a new self-image. And it's this new self-image that's going to achieve the things that you want to achieve. Because as we mentioned in the beginning, you can't outperform your self-image. So the only way to achieve things that have never been achieved before is to change how you see yourself. And one of the most practical exercises in terms of doing this is to write out all of the characteristics of the new version of you. What do you want this new version of you to look like? What habits do they have? What traits do they have? What positive impact do they make? How do they make decisions? Are they good at making decisions? Are they quick at making decisions? Like, how do you function on a day-to-day basis? Write out what this looks like in as much detail as you can, what this new version of you looks like. Keep hold of that version of you, whether it's in a journal or in a planner, however you or whatever you're using to move forward and plan what it is that you're planning within your businesses. The best thing to do is at least be mindful of this new version of you, because this is how you're going to change from who you are today to your new self-image. And you might be wondering, why am I sharing this? Like, what has this actually got to do with growing a business and creating a profitable business without burnout or like the hustle mentality all of the time? It's because as a business owner, if you're looking to grow it, firstly, it's a good idea to be self-aware of the limitations your existing self-image has. Because as I mentioned before, what I've come to realize is sometimes we don't always know the things that are holding us back. And it's not until we light those individual aspects up within us that we can see, oh, okay, maybe this is something that I need to understand more. Maybe this is something that can help me bust through the next level and get me through to the next stage where I need to be. Until you really look at your own self-image, and again, using the examples that I give above, like what does your average day look like? What do you spend the most time doing? And then how does that look over the last 30 days as well? Do you like procrastinate over making big decisions? Do you let things build up over the course of days, weeks, and months before you make a decision? Like, all of these things compound over time. And if they're not addressed as a business owner, and this is me speaking from like personal experience, the longer like things aren't addressed, they do compound. They don't really go away. It's better to kind of address all of these limitations like as quickly as possible. And it's not until you become aware of these that you can actually move past them or grow through them. So, yeah, I hope this episode has highlighted, firstly, how to take stock of your own self image and like why it's important to understand this, and also use these practical tips to actually create the new version of you, which has the things that you're trying to work towards and achieve. Because, as we mentioned in the beginning, you can't outperform your current self image. So, therefore, we have to change our self image to achieve the things that we're looking to achieve. Okay, cheers, guys. See you guys on the next episode.